So today I wanted to go ahead and share my everyday carry for the job site. So this is everything I take from the shop to the truck, from the truck to the job site for punch lists, inspections, site visits, all in one thing. So it is here. So I have everything parked in a Festool Systainer Tool Bag. It's a new thing that Festool came out with early this fall. I've had it for a few weeks and gave it I think, a pretty good shake in order to be able to share with you guys my thoughts on it. This isn't explicitly a review of the tool bag, but it's kind of gonna be like passively, I guess, a review while I'm walking through everything else. I used to take everything in this tool pouch, right? I used to kind of take everything in here and had all of my basics for any job, kind of a generalist tool bag in this. This was actually my dad's old tool belt that I ended up taking on and I guess inheriting. He's still alive, but you know, I guess it's stealing before they pass away, but inheriting afterwards. Sorry, Dad, I'm keeping this. So this has been my tool bag for the last 7 or so years and freaking love it. It's absolutely amazing. So I got this tool belt from Home Depot. It's a Husky belt of all things, and it's actually held up incredibly well for near daily use. So this used to be my everyday carry sort of go bag. Everything else that's in here was sort of just scattered around the truck, or it was left at a job site for part-time, left in the shop, or left behind in general. And I would have to come back to get what I needed and go. It just created a lot of waste. So I was looking for something that could be sort of an all-in-one solution where I can just grab the bag and I know that everything I need to do most things is in there. So, okay, let's go ahead and walk through what we got. First of all, yeah, I now just leave this empty and only use it when I actually need some kind of like belt-on tool, kind of viewing it as a tool in itself instead of the container. This lives just inside this half here. So got that. I pulled this out in order to get the tool belt out, but this is also in there. These are probably the most bougie thing in here. These are Bose QC35 headphones that I use for hearing protection. I just turn on the noise canceling thing, throw on a podcast or some music, and I'm good to go. I know that they aren't official hearing protection, something like these 3M headphones might be, but I've used them for years. They work incredibly well. They hold a charge for weeks, and they are surprisingly tough. I am not easy on them. I mean, you can see they're pretty scratched up, pretty banged up. There's concrete splatter on them from cutting some concrete yesterday, but they're comfortable. I can wear them all day and they don't bother me. And it's also just nice having something like a podcast going on while I'm doing something pretty, boring. boring. All right, so there's that, hearing protection. This is not a critique of the bag, but it is something I just kind of like, I wish it could fit this perfectly. And that's just my stiletto framing hammer. I have a 14-ounce one. You can see it's pretty well loved. This is just in here, kind of just hangs out there. Totally fine, I don't mind. That's great. So, got the hammer. I have over here just a pretty cheapy Empire speed square that I use. I'd love to get one like Martinez speed square. It's on the bucket list someday. But for now, this Empire one works great. And yeah, that's in there. I have over here, Stabila Level, just a small 10-inch one that I use for just general leveling. I have a bunch of other Stabilo levels in various sizes for actually more like task-specific uses. Has this really cool like Cordura ballistic nylon belt loop thing, so I can add that to the belt if needed. Over on this side, I have 3 different pry bars, 3 different size pry bars. This one comes in really handy if I have to get on a roof and kind of get under some shingles to make a repair. Yeah, just generally pretty handy to have. These are also just a cheap little pair from Home Depot. I think they're like 10 or 15 bucks for all 3. I have a spare set of utility blades, kind of running low on them. These are great for my DeWalt X-Acto knife. This thing is awesome. Also kind of been around for a long time and been through hell. But, so I have a couple options. I have this one, and then I also have this Knipex utility knife that kind of just serves a different purpose. I've used a bit of the blade by now, but at full extension, you can really kind of get in under things. It has a good bend, also has this handy stiffener bar that pops out that kind of helps keep the blade rigid. And then, yeah, when you need a new blade or a new tip, just snap one off. You've seen these, just a little bit of an elevated version. I got just a couple little putty knives that are great for filling holes or just kind of getting into a small space and prying something up. These are awesome. This is the newest addition to the everyday carry kit, the Stabila scraper. So you can just swap out, these are just those standard rectangular utility blades that goes into this holder. Made in Germany, you know how I like that stuff. Yeah, and you can just kind of scrape away. I got this because I have a couple new exterior doors that I put in, and they're like kind of all glass and have a weird adhesive tape border around them that needs to be scraped away. So keeping on with the tour here, clipped on here, I have a flashlight. Pretty awesome little USB-C rechargeable one that I got off Amazon. It's also pretty inexpensive. It is magnetic, so you can kind of hang if I need it to hang or something like that. But yeah, great little flashlight, super powerful. Don't know how many lumens, but it's been awesome. It just clips on there. I have here this Empire square. This one, I have this one in the go bag, and then I have a nicer Starrett one that kind of lives in the shop. But this one, since it's kind of in a beater environment, gets the role as the beater square that lives in the EDC bag. And also, just I guess while we're on the topic, I've never had a problem with these Empire squares. They're awesome. Lining them up, I mean, they are dead on, same measurements. The tick marks are all the same as the Starrett. I simply got the Starrett because I just really like supporting the brand, and you know, just I feel like tools should be a pleasure to use sometimes, and where it makes sense. And I use these squares all the time, these combo squares all the time, and I just wanted to treat myself and just have a nice tool. It's really that simple. Nothing more complicated about it. Sometimes we just want that. Kind of keeping on with measurement devices, I have this fast cap tape measure. I love these things. I have a couple of them around, and what's really cool about them is you can write on them, and then they just kind of erase away. So if you're out like measuring a wall assembly or something like that, and you have just a couple measurements, you know, jack stud, silk, that kind of thing, you can just jot them on there, take them back to the saw, make your cuts, and then go on to the next set of measurements. These are amazing. I have another clipped on here. I have another Stabilo Level. This is just their like small mini one. You might ask, why do you have 2 levels? It seems kind of redundant, doesn't it? This one is magnetic, so what's really cool about that is if I'm putting in a pipe or something like that, I can just leave it there. I can adjust the pipe to level and fasten it down. Also has a cool little belt clip that makes it really handy just to kind of throw on there for some real quick leveling jobs. I also have a Stabila tape measure. Same question you might have, why do you have 2 tape measures? You have the fast cap, you have the Stabila. Truth be told, I got the fast cap first and really liked it because it has very clear labels with all of the fractional markings in between each inch. And I just find that really quick and dummy proof to read. And when I'm exhausted and it's been a long day and I'm taking some measurements towards the end of it, instead of relying on my dumb ape brain to make sure I get the right amount of tick marks logged away, I can just look at it. It tells me that it's 13/16 and I can move along. So that's, and it's also a 16 foot. Yeah, I have a 16 and then I found the need for a 26. FastCap does make 26, I believe. They make longer than 16, but I wanted to give this Stabilo one a try. Anything I'm measuring that is over 16 feet, I figure is a little bit more in the rough construction realm. So wanted to give this a shot because it has a bit more beefy hook than the FastCap does, which could come in handy for framing. And also, you know, it's just more stout. It's a little more robust and has the double print. The FastCap is just a single side, which is great for certain applications, and this is great for other applications. So kind of just felt like it was overall the best tape measure for the role that it would play. So that's there. And then this has got to be my dark horse measuring device that I did not expect I would love so much, but find myself using literally all the time. So this is an Occidental leather cell phone case that I picked up that fits a Stabila laser rangefinder. This thing is shockingly accurate. I, this summer, had a house that needed baseboard and trim installation, so baseboards, door casings, and headers. And I used this for literally the entire house. All new baseboards, all new casings, and only use this. And the number of remeasures and like recuts I had to do was virtually zero. This thing is so accurate, and the range is incredible. Could not speak highly of this enough. If you don't have one of these, they come in handy in ways that I just couldn't even expect. Laying out fence lines, you know, if you need to take measurements from like the length of an entire property, if you're measuring something that's up high and inaccessible, this thing is it. So great. And yeah, it doesn't come with a case, which is like kind of its main critique. Maybe for the price, it should come with some kind of cool like Stabila version case. But yeah, like I said, I happened to stumble across this at a tool store when I was traveling up north in Sacramento area. And yeah, Occidental leather, meant for a cell phone, conveniently fits this Stabila case, has a belt clip, pretty stoked. So this is amazing. And then I just have a couple hammers in here. I know I have the framing hammer, but I also have a smooth face sort of finishing hammer. This is a Ghidorah red, pretty inexpensive. It came with a couple cold chisels, yeah, and a punch, part of a kit. And I siphoned off the hammer, put it in here because it fits so neatly down the bottom. So this has been great to have, super handy for just kind of popping in some trim nails, that kind of thing. And then I also have this double-sided mallet from Halder. It's a German brand, really great mallet. The ability to swap out these heads depending on your use is pretty handy. So I have a really soft face here and then a bit harder face here. So this one came in, you can kind of see it's all scuffed up and everything. This one came in really handy. I used it to install pergo flooring in a house, and you know, you use it in the slide hammer sort of function. That was great. And then yeah, you can swap out these heads when they wear down, and you can replace them with different types of materials. I actually have another one around the shop here. Yeah, it's a smaller one, so you can see the difference. And this one has the same sort of squishy soft head that this one does, but this one is a really hard plastic, and I use this for seating dominoes. Yeah, works really well. So love these, love those hammers. They have huge ones, they have like full-size sledge type size, and they have, I think that's the smallest one, but I might be wrong. I think that's everything in this side of the tool bag. Over here I have safety squints. These are called Stoggles, and I found them, they're on Amazon. They have a bunch of different colors. I have these green ones, I have these brown ones, and they're awesome. They have kind of the side protection, they have some protection up here. What's really great about them too is they have a bunch of different sizes, so you can, these are I think mediums, yeah, mediums. You can order different colors. They have a couple different models now too, but I don't know, I kind of got tired of the, like, I don't know, space sci-fi looking safety glasses that you find at Home Depot pretty often, and just wanted something with a little bit more of a classic look that I could even forget that I'm wearing and walk around town or something like that, or go grab a beer and they look okay. So yeah, really love these. They live in a pouch right here. All right, and we're kind of nearing the end here. On this side, I have just a variety of different hand tools. So first one, I have these Knipex carpenter pinchers that I use all the time for just removing nails out of studs. If it's like, they're actually a really great demo tool. Yeah, so removing nails out of anything. These are the Knipex 50225, and yeah, they're fantastic. Really love them. They work great. I also have a pair of Knipex Cobras, because is it really a toolkit if you don't have these? These are the 250 10-inch ones, and they're amazing. I used to use these to pull out nails before I got the carpenter pinchers, and yeah, they're fantastic. Really love them. I have just a bunch of different sizes and a bunch of different pairs. Actually, please hold. These ones wouldn't fit. These are the big boy Knipex, and I found an unexpected use for these as a demolition tool. You can kind of set it to about the width of a stud, and you can just grab onto it and rip it free in a second. This thing is tenacious. It is a grail tool, and I am obsessed with it. So many uses for it. Did not expect it to. It's kind of like, wasn't a joke purchase, but definitely wasn't like a necessity. And I found myself using it in like tons of situations, a ton, like so often. And it is, it's actually been used in situations where literally there is no other solution. This was the only thing that could work, and it did it. So love these. Okay, just a real cheapy, husky, flat screwdriver that I use not as a screwdriver, but as a pry tool and general purpose poker. So that's what this is for. Right here I have the VHA 12-in-1, I believe. I had the 10-in-1, love it. Repurposed that for another toolkit, but this is the 12 and, or the other one I think is 6-in-1, sorry. I think this is the 12-in-1. And yeah, really kind of what you'd expect from multiple roll screwdriver. Has a couple different Torx, square bits, that kind of thing. Oops. Also a nut driver on the end here, made in the USA, proudly stamped right there. So yeah, German tool, made in the USA, kind of the best of both worlds. Love this thing, it's awesome. And then over here I have a Festool. It's a screwdriver handle that accepts their fast fix chuck. And then I have in one of these bags, there's side compartments. Yeah, I just have like a bunch of general purpose bits. So I have these WEHA hex bits that just come in handy for a variety of things. So basically I have this because this came with a kit of bits, and it lets me fasten basically anything else that this can't. So this is, you know, a couple key Torx, some hexes, Phillips, and a flat, and this thing will just do everything else that a bit is made for. And yeah, I think that kind of covers it for the content of the inside. Here I just have stud finder. This is the Zircon stud finder HD70. I went through a bunch of different stud finders before, and this one is by far the most reliable. It's earned a place in the bag. So that just lives there. And then kind of moving on to the end of the bag here, I have just a couple pencils. So I have these Pika pencils that I love so much. They have a bunch of different styles, some like really fine tip mechanical ones. Actually, I have one right here. This is their fine tip mechanical one that they kind of just came out with. Use that a ton for woodworking and places where precision matters. But otherwise, yeah, I just keep one of these on board. Love those. They replaced those flat carpenter pencils for me. They even have, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, they even have a couple different kinds. They have kind of a fine tip marker, sort of like a Sharpie. It works really well. They have a white paint pen. They have colored lead, so you can still do your lumber crayon situation if you want. Red, yellow, and then your standard black. Live right here, along with just a couple different size Sharpies. They have these little elastic loops here that make it really easy. And then lastly, is that everything in there? Yeah. Lastly, I have this traveler's notebook that's like a nice leather sort of outside cover with replaceable inserts. And yeah, I just kind of use this for everything. Note-taking, schematics, anything I need to jot down. I think I have plans for cabinets in here. Yeah, this thing goes with me everywhere. The latest project in there was laying out a irrigation system for a house. So yeah, awesome. And then overall though, this bag has been really, really great. It has all of these compartments are removable. They're open-ended there. They don't have a bottom. I thought that might be really annoying at first, right? You put something in and it just kind of like goes right through. But the bottom is the base of the tool bags, which is a really hard plastic. So it kind of doesn't need a proper bottom. It's only, like a ½ inch of exposure there. So yeah, the bottom of this pouch is essentially the bottom of the tool bag itself. And then what's great about having the open bottom is that it doesn't collect sawdust and everything in there. So that, the thing that I thought might be a disadvantage turned out to be, in use, a pretty big advantage, which kind of, I think, also just goes to show that it's really important to actually use the item before drawing a conclusion on its usefulness. And that's like what I tried to do even with this. Before, I knew I wanted to make a video about just like my everyday carry kit and kind of about this bag, but I wanted to do it a few weeks ago when I got it, but I figured I should really use it first to kind of be able to give the best representation of it. So yeah, in actuality, on paper, maybe it looks like a disadvantage. In practical use, it's a really great feature. It has a bunch of these different Velcro liners. Here's one that has the same big pouches as the one I just showed you, but also has some little ones, which is really, really handy. Just leave that out for now. Has another one of those, so there's 2 in total. And then this was the one, it's the really thin pockets, really shallow, and then has a really hard plastic on the surface here, but it also has hard plastic on the inside of the pocket. So literally this entire pocket is hard plastic. And this is what I had clipped the, the tapes to and the level to, like that. But you could also put, sharp things in there. Maybe you have some open chisels. I don't know why you wouldn't put them in a cover, but just whatever. You can put sharp stuff in there, which is really handy. And then that pouch that I had, this is probably the least optimized compartment in the whole thing. This is the thing that I kept my safety glasses in, but you could fit a variety of things in here. I've seen some people use it to store hand plane in. It's pretty cool. It has this little elastic band that loops over it too. And yeah, this just attaches to the side. Kind of reminds me of one of those chalk bags from that rock climbers use. Let's see, it has, yeah, the tool or the zippered pouches on each side here, has a deep pocket here, and then on this side, it kind of like this, both inside surfaces are coated in this really hard plastic, so you can put some sharper things in there too. It is like all Festool stuff, it can latch on to any of their sustainers. So like you could do something like this, where it's a sustainer full of bits. Not the best use of bit storage, but you know, I could replace all of these bits with, you know, screws of different varieties too. This has some drill bits and that kind of stuff in there. If I wanted to take this and I could just connect it on there, and then I can take it with me, you know, throw a drill in here for good measure, whatever, and I'm good to go to do some kind of fascinating project. So really versatile bag. It's not very expensive by Festool standards, really well made. The strap is really comfortable. And yeah, I mean, look at all of this stuff that it can fit, except for the Cobras, the big boys. But yeah, look at all this stuff it can fit. Pretty incredible that all of this can be in here. And I feel confident that I can pretty much tackle most generalist tasks, definitely punchless, with this kit here, plus maybe a drill. I have watched a couple reviews on this. There are very few out there, at least as of right now. And the one thing, I don't know why, I just really wanted to know, but nobody showed, was what the heck this gets shipped in, like how does it come? So I kept the box. And this is what it comes in. Just for those of you curious, it's just a general purpose cardboard box. So there's the answer to that question that nobody asked. Hopefully that was helpful to kind of see just what I take as like an everyday carry job site kit. This is what works for me. It's not what works for you. This is a very general purpose toolkit, but you could definitely get even more specialized with some electrical, with some plumbing, various, you know, irrigation, that kind of thing. Like I said, this used to be what I had a couple things in like this, and you know, now I'm able to, that was kind of the go-to, and now I'm able to take all of this extra usefulness with me to every job site. So all of this I'll have linked down in the description below. This is a new channel. I don't know when you're watching this, but as of right now, this is the second video I've put out. So I'm trying to make this more of a thing. There are affiliate links down below in all transparency. It is a really passive way to sort of help out the channel and kind of help it grow. I'm trying to make useful content for you guys, and I want to keep doing that. And that's a really great way of supporting me and supporting this type of content. So if you like what you see, please, I know it sounds so overdone, but like, subscribe, share. It really, really does help. And yeah, use the affiliate links below if any of these things seem useful to you. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I know that was a long video, but this kind of stuff, I really enjoy seeing what other people find useful for their work. I can usually pick a couple things away, or take a couple things away and kind of implement them into my own workflows. So I'm hoping that you guys at least can take something away from this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.